Hello, everyone. Spectator for Purim number 5. Yesterday, when I spoke about the dress code for Purim, thank God you have benefited me with many beautiful replies. But one of them actually led to this spectator. Someone wrote to me, not only does he wear his costume for Megillah reading, he is the Baal Koreh, and he takes off his tefillin because it doesn't match or go with his costume before he reads the Megillah. Forget about what I said yesterday. That is 100% wrong for 3 different reasons. 2 of them are written explicitly. The third, I admit, is mine. You can disregard it. The first reason is the Magen Avraham. He talks about a bris, and he says that the minhag is you leave your tefillin on if the bris is right after davening. Namely, if you're already going to have a bris right after davening, don't take your tefillin off. Leave your tefillin on. It's a beautiful jewelry for a Jew. The second reason is written specifically regarding Purim. The famous pasuk in the Megillah that we all say, Yal Yehudim Aita Ora V'Simcha V'Sason V'Yikar. We say it twice on Purim. We say it at Avdallah. Ultimately, the Gemara says V'Yikar means tefillin. Namely, part and parcel of what it says in the Megillah is tefillin. So therefore, when we read about it, we have our tefillin on. So we leave our tefillin on because we're reading about the fact that the Jews had a salvation. One of their salvations was v'yikar. Thank God they can continue to wear tefillin because they weren't killed. And therefore, we leave our tefillin on specifically when we read the Megillah on Purim. And I'd like to add a third reason, and this is my own. The Shach, when talking about a bris, says you don't take your tefillin off because tefillin is an oath. It's a sign. It's a physical sign on the body. And tefillin is an oath. Namely, both a bris and tefillin are signs that we're Jewish. Indeed, part of the salvation of Purim was that Esther did not just say, I can deny I'm Jewish, I'm the queen after all. She listened to the words of Mordechai, Al tedami b'nashech lihimalet beit hamelech mikol haYehudim. Don't think for a moment that you can stay in the palace and escape from all the Jews. And ultimately, she walked into Achashverosh and said explicitly, Ki nimkarnu ani ve'ami. Me and my nation were sold to be destroyed. And thus, what is more Jewish than saying if Esther was proud to be Jewish then, we're proud to be Jewish today, and the most Jewish thing to wear, the thing that everyone talks about when you wear them out on a plane, on an airport, or whatnot, is the tefillin. So therefore, part of the salvation of Purim is not just that we're alive to wear tefillin, but rather we didn't deny our Judaism, and the sign of which is the tefillin. And thus, Purim is a day of Kimu v'Kiblu HaYehudim, and as the Gemara says, we reaffirmed what we accepted at Mount Sinai, namely being Jewish and fulfilling the mitzvot of Judaism, one of which are tefillin. So leave your tefillin on for Megillah reading. For these 3 reasons, it is far more appropriate than wearing a costume that forces you to take it off.